When we consider ways of thinking, we really need to spend some time regarding epistemology. And before I kind of go through some of the highlights on the following slides, you can also think of epistemology in a personal sense. In other words, how do you obtain knowledge? What do you believe is the appropriate way to view the world? Through what lenses do you view the world, and how do you personally seek truth? So this can be very personal in nature. Epistemology comes from the Greek episteme, which means knowledge, and the English suffix ology, meaning the study of. So in effect, epistemology is the study of knowledge. What is knowledge? What does it mean to know? The nature and aims of epistemology. Epistemological questions explore the nature of knowledge. Ask how someone has come to know something, inquire into the scope and limits of knowledge, or try to discover the degree of certainty attached to particular knowledge. Philosophers, they've approached epistemology in various ways, but essentially, questions that look into the relation between knowledge and truth and the roles played by the senses and reason in acquiring knowledge probe the foundation of knowledge. For example, what is knowledge? Can people know the world as it really is? Are there some things that humans can never know? What can we claim to know anything, or how can we claim to know anything, and why? Answer to these types of questions consider a theory of knowledge or epistemology. Plato, he believed that the things people perceive through the senses are subject to change because these things disintegrate, dissolve, and wear down. Thus, this type of knowledge is unreliable because people can never generate more than an opinion and about objects belonging to the sensory world. Aristotle didn't agree with Plato's idea of knowledge, and he basically said that experience was obtained through the senses, and he believed that reason came into play after people experienced things through their senses. Some new schools of epistemology have emerged. Some argue that the only logic that really matters is math or science. They say that math and science is reliable. Others suggest that true knowledge is only knowledge upon which most people agree. Still others argue that knowledge is relative and influenced by personal and cultural beliefs. Now, if you're doing research, we see this to a certain extent between quantitative methodology that's based on math and science, surveys, etc., compiling numerical data, versus qualitative research that's based on experiential observation, interviews, etc. Buddha defined knowledge as belief produced by reliable means. The question is, what is reliable means? This essentially rejected authority or reasons as a means of knowledge, but rather through action and experience. In Buddha's way of thinking, that's what was important. Statements that express beliefs are considered somewhat more reliable than statements that express opinions, because belief statements can be classified as true or false, generally speaking. Justified true belief. Plato is often credited with suggesting that along with true belief, one must have justification for the belief in order for it to be knowledge, also known as justified true belief. Accordingly, three conditions are necessary to claim knowledge: truth, belief, and justification.